My name is Snake.
Some of you out there might know me as Snake, the third member of the Zip Remedy. Others might know me as Mr. Simpson, media immersion teacher at a certain school. In real life, I'm Stefan Brogren, a long-standing member of the Degrassi family and your tour guide for what's, hard for me to believe, a look back on 25 years of Degrassi. It's time to reconnect with some friends I haven't seen in a while, as well as those I still see on a regular basis. It's a trip down memory lane where the past converges with the present, where some of my fondest and funniest memories are stored, to tell just a piece of the Degrassi story.
How do you make a movie, Ida?
Ida makes a movie. Yep. This is what started the whole thing. It was just supposed to be one little children's special, but the show has over time become known as episode 1 of The Kids of Degrassi Street.
How did you find the kids back then, with the kids of Degrassi?
We very much were a grassroots operation in those days. We used to have a sandwich board that we would take out front of our office at Playing with Time, and it would say, you know, auditions.
First up is Caitlin. Break a leg.
And we used to go to the local church basements where there would be acting classes and community centers in the schools. We would put out flyers.
Get the beat, girls.
I'm sure if we did this day and age, we would not be allowed to do it. I mean, it's a totly different environment.
Our friend, we're going to get a man.
We absolutely looked for very local kids.
Needs a little work, but that's what rehearsals are for. Don't you get discouraged.
We are on our way to go see Kit Hood, one of the co-creators of Degrassi from the very beginning.
I think we were getting tired of making documentaries as much as anything. I wanted to move into drama. I wanted to see, how far I could reach.
How are you? How you doing? You looking good?
I'm
trying to remember what was happening on in television back then as far as kids programming and so forth. I mean,
it was all animated.
All animated.
There was very little live action drama for kids, made specifically for kids.
6, 5, 4.
How about you, Mr. Earnshaw? We heard you make disgusting close-ups, huh?
I've been around Degrassi since, pretty much since day one, actually. I was a cameraman for 25 years, and then I started to direct.
I'm the director. You have to do as I say.
This is going to sound like a little bit of when I was a boy. I used to walk to school.
Because it was like that, though. It was really, we didn't know any better as the kids, but we were on the fly in a lot of ways.
We didn't know any better as the adults either, because none of us had made dramas before.
Ready, set, action.
Our backgrounds was all documentary. Linda was a teacher, I was a news cameraman. Kit was an editor.
Was it really sort of guerrilla film style making the episodes back then? Because it was,
by today's standards, certainly guerrilla. As we saw it then, everything we were doing, we were learning as we did it.
Okay, thanks everyone. That was real good.
We learned our own ways of doing it. So that probably had an effect on the look of the show, maybe a detrimental one. But
Probably not, though, because, I'll tell you, people love the look of the show.
You are at a very exciting time in your lives, with many choices and opportunities to make.
I think he's cute too.
Sure. Walk away. It's all you ever do.
I'm afraid that Danny O'Brien, our crossing guard, died last night.
The Kids of Degrassi Street might look a little unpolished by today's standards, but its stories of growing up turned out to be universal, finding young fans all over the world.
What gives? Degrassi is our street.
The Kids of Degrassi Street won tons of international awards, including an Emmy.
And if anybody would have told us, 10 years later or so, we'd be sitting here in my kitchen talking about the next generation and 25 years cumulative work of Degrassi. Who would have ever believed it?
It's been a good year all round.
But after 26 episodes, it was getting harder to find new stories to tell for this age group. It was time to move on.
Wake up in the morning feeling shy and lonely. I gotta go to school.
Can you believe we're in grade 8?
I know. It's like being grown up almost.
Degrassi Junior High. A Brand new show, a new setting, new actors, and all new characters. This was where my life as Snake began. It was also the beginning for all those kids now known throughout living rooms all over the world. Caitlin, Wheels, Spike, the twins, and of course, Joey Jeremiah.
Stephanie! Joey Jeremiah, Esquire, Chairman of the Welcoming Committee. Joey L. Jeremiah, Speechwriter. Playboy. L for lover. At your service.
Better be home.
Oh, God.
You're sitting on my car, dude.
Dude, I'm sorry. Am I scratching it?
No.
It's like silk.
Snake's ass is so soft.
Do you remember actually auditioning for the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember auditioning, Pat?
I remember getting the flyer at school. I remember filling it out. I remember getting the call to come down to audition for the show.
And the very first person to audition for Joey Jeremiah was Pat Mastroianni.
Really?
And he came in and he read.
One of the lines in the monologue was, my personal philosophy on life is blah, 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 and I couldn't say the word philosophy, so I said philosophy.
Philosophy?
Philosophy, my personal philosophy. And I'm trying to be all cocky and confident, right?
And I remember turning to Kit and Yan and saying, well, I'm done. I don't need to audition anymore, Joey Jeremiah's. That's our guy.
How can you stand to be so good looking?
You weren't necessarily like Joey Jeremiah, but did Joey and you sort of mesh?
Yeah, well, people say you were probably a lot like the character back then.
Chicks are like aspirin. I take 2 and go to bed.
In truth, I wasn't. I was very much the opposite of Joey Jeremiah season 1.
I hear when fame hits, man, it's like a thunderbolt.
I was a shy, insecure kid, 14 years old, 110 pounds, scrawny little guy.
Tell me I don't look 16.
What do you think of Joey? He can be a real jerk sometimes. He's okay.
Maybe that's something we picked up on, because one of the things that I always look for, whether when we were casting you guys in the original classic show or when we're casting now, yes, you want characters with bravado and who are bad and all kinds of interesting dramatic things, but the most successful characters are the ones when you look into their eyes and you know there's a vulnerability there.
If it's the first time, you're okay. You can't get pregnant the first time. I don't know if that's true. Of course it is. Everyone knows that. So how come my period's late then?
Amanda's great. And I guess that relationship goes back almost 15, 20 years, which is so weird.
And you must be Spike.
Her name's Christine.
Yes, of course.
I think I'm gonna have a baby.
This is a joke, right?
No.
Can you walk us through when they first told you, Amanda, we're gonna get Spike pregnant?
Well, I didn't know until pretty much everyone else at the read-through knew.
Oh, really?
It's not like our characters then, we found out beforehand what happened. So, we're all sitting around in the room, going through the read-through. So I just thought I was gonna have a couple of lines again, and all of a sudden here I am, the center of the storyline, and oh, guess what?
Mom, I'm pregnant.
That is insane.
So it was pretty bizarre
Well,
at the
because,
time.
you're a young kid and to spring something on you like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It was
Were you
quite
comfortable
scary.
with the idea of playing a pregnant
Yeah,
teenager?
it didn't really bother me. The only thing that was kind of funny is at that age, I had never had sex. So I'm trying to think, how am I gonna act pregnant? How am I gonna act like a girl who's had sex? I couldn't relate in that way.
Mom, it feels weird. Like there's butterflies in there. That's the baby turning. Don't be scared.
I think a lot of people back then actually thought you might have actually been pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
I think they thought that they found
Definitely.
a real teenage girl.
I mean, I used to get fan mail and people would send me baby clothes and stuffed animals and stuff like that. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, they're crazy, but well, maybe my character is that realistic.
How long was she in there for?
6 weeks. She was hooked up to a heart monitor and everything. She almost died.
Probably when Spike got pregnant, it was the first time that a pregnant teenager's real dilemma had been shown on television.
And she was so young. I think some people would have preferred a 26-year-old playing a 13-year-old
Oh, yes.
to take away from the reality of it all.
Yes.
You know? But it definitely made an impact at the time. And to go from there, you started getting into abortion issues and AIDS.
Everyone who shook hands with Archie, please stand up. You may have been exposed to the AIDS virus as well.
Dad, how old were you when you first did it?
Over the course of its 3 seasons, the junior high plot lines encompass nearly every possible scenario from teenage life, always dealing with them in a real and unvarnished way.
Male teachers always get flustered when you mention the word period. Hello?
No, I've got a friend who's 12 years old. He gets a lot of wet dreams. Is he a pervert?
All right, safe city. We've got French Stallion, Rib Delight, your industrial strength.
Were we brats?
Yeah, I would say you're pretty... Well, I was actually afraid of Pat a little bit.
Really?
Well, Pat was so in your face about stuff, you know, like, well, you remember in the parking lot, he got in the van.
Pat stole the van on set. Well, he didn't steal.
I borrowed.
He borrowed.
You said to me, Pat, I dare you to start the engine. And I said, okay, I can start the engine. My dad's teaching me how to drive. I know how to do this. And
see, I don't remember that being me, but
yeah, you know, every time I tell this story, you say, I don't remember that being me, but it was you because you were goading me into doing it.
Slow!
Turn. And you were like, oh, you're not gonna do it. And I'm like, yeah. And I put it into drive. I drove it maybe 15, 20 feet. And that's when the producer saw me.
No!
Joey told
Sarah caught him, just about killed him.
Yeah. Puts him up against the wall. We're all at the window going, oh my God, he's getting in trouble.
Yelled at me, pulled me out of the van, and wouldn't allow me back in the van for a month. I had to find my own way to set for a month.
You can't go right, it's a one-way street. Go down.
But in true Degrassi style, that real-life story found its way into a Degrassi script and became one of the show's more memorable episodes.
On the road.
Snake, you guys, be quiet. You're making me nervous.
You're making me nervous.
All right, that's it for this year. Dismissed.
This is our last day here. Bye-bye, Degrassi Junior High.
Right.
Burn down the school? Well, I guess that's it for the show. I mean, you can't continue a show about junior high without the junior high. And with all those stories left to tell, I mean, what were they gonna do? Build another school?
Wake up in the morning, gotta shake the feeling that I gotta face the day of school. What's to be
So end one chapter and begin another. We were growing up. It was finally time to go to high school. No one said it would be easy, especially when you're a minor niner. And true to form, Degrassi High didn't disappoint.
Map's impossible.
Hey, guys.
Wow, it's so big. I know.
This place is turning into kindergarten.
Being young, mostly inexperienced actors, we were all asked to portray kids with some serious life issues. Still, some of us had it worse with the lighter topics. Take Pat, for example. Oh, naked Pat.
Oh, man. She purrs like a kitten.
So, Pat Mastroianni.
Stefan.
What are we standing beside right now?
I've got to have you.
It's the 73 Mach 1 Mustang that we used back in Degrassi High as Joey's car.
So, the point is you don't have money to buy the car.
Guys, I'll find a way, all right?
When my brother was in high school,
There was a guy who walked through the cafe naked. He made a lot of money for people who bet he wouldn't dare.
All right. Linda Schuyler called me into her office to have a little meeting like we normally did back in those days, and I thought I was getting into trouble for something or another, and she said, Pat, we have a great idea for a storyline for Joey. And she said, we need Joey to walk through the cafeteria naked.
Keep quiet.
And I said, are you crazy? So I go to my parents for support, for help, to back me up on this, and they're like, no, do it. That's funny. Do it. I did it, and it's definitely one of the more memorable moments for Joey on the show.
Mr. Jeremiah, come with me, please.
The car Joey ended up buying was actually a white Mustang, already owned by Pat. It's green now and about to go up for auction. This piece of Degrassi history is available to any fan for the right price.
What better way to sell my car than to offer it to the people that watched it on TV all those years ago? And if a fan buys it, I'm going to feel great about that.
Take one.
You are definitely going to be the coolest guy Degrassi had. Woo!
Everybody get ready.
Have you ever tried to rap?
No.
Would anyone here like to?
The Zits are here.
Thank you. I got took by a nerd.
They put condom machines in the girls' bathroom, boys and girls' bathroom.
Music to my ears.
Everybody wants something. They'll never give up. Everybody wants
Have you noticed that Tessa's changed?
No.
Oh, it's okay. I'll pay for my own.
You can pay for mine too.
And never give up.
I think it's one past that. Oh, Jesus. Do you get a lot of action in it?
Did you?
In your car? Yeah, tons.
The ladies liked the car back in the day. They thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Stefan, you're trying to portray me as some studly guy when you know, in fact,
you are a studly
you
guy.
and I are both the biggest softies and not the ladies' men that people
What are you talking
make us
about?
up
We're
to.
totally like studs.
Yeah, whatever, Stefan.
So when do you think you'll be up on a stage?
They're gonna have me on stage Saturday evening.
What if it doesn't sell, Pat?
If it doesn't sell, I don't know.
I don't know if I passed their street. Not exactly sure where they're at. Whoops. Howdy.
How are you?
Oh wait, so okay. So wait, so you were the good sister and she was the bad sister?
I would have, if we had only black and only white clothes, I would have been in the black.
Think of all those boys.
Erica, you are such a sex maniac. Heather, you are such a prude.
Okay.
I would have had wings.
I only remember that really sort of being defined when we got to the abortion episode.
I can't have a kid. I'm too young to be a mom. Think of all those babies dying every day in the killing centers.
We weren't prepared for it going into the reading. We weren't warned before.
didn't know it was
We didn't know. It was
We
turned
had
the script
no
over.
idea.
It was shocking only because, well, it was exciting for us on a personal
Obviously.
level because
Yeah.
it was the premiere of the next season and they were our characters.
And I really want you to come with me. No. Please. We're sisters, remember? Always there for each other. That's what you said.
No! I don't know if they even thought they'd get as much of a reaction as they did, though.
Well, because I think we even got more of a reaction with that episode in the States.
Yeah, in Canada it wasn't as big an issue.
And because didn't they have to re-edit the episode? I remember them going
They
like.
edited it at the end.
I don't remember exactly what happened though, but they.
What they had done in the States was edit it at a point where we were walking to the clinic and then they just froze on the two of us. So no decision was ever made.
Are you sure you don't want to have the baby?
And so there was no like the lady with the fetus in the dark version.
Look at your baby. There's a baby inside you. You want to kill your baby? Don't do it. It's your last chance to save it.
Well, for me, I think they focused it on the relationship between the sisters, and I thought that was nice, that choosing to support someone because you love someone.
Come on, Dwayne, you don't have AIDS. Not yet. But I'm HIV positive, and I got it from a chick.
No one does this to me.
Scott, please, let me go.
You deserve it.
So, don't you go to school?
I go to a special school.
No exception.
My last exam. I'm free.
B-R-I-A-R?
Jump. Been riding in it for 15 years.
And my old friend, Mr. Yick Yu.
Yo.
Come in, microchip. Microchip to ask you, dog, reading you loud and clear.
Swamp, sex, robots. This is pornography.
We're going out for a smoke.
I could do with the smoke.
Okay, let's go then. Come on. Look, no problem. Where's your parents' liquor cabinet?
They locked it.
Bummer.
Do you have a favorite episode that you were involved with? The one that you look back on like that was fun. That was fun.
I'd have to say School's Out.
School's Out was the 2-hour made-for-TV movie that capped off the Degrassi High series. The last hurrah. We had a blast making it.
School's Out, we knew it was finally over. Like, I was ready for the show to be over. When we went up to Trent for that 1 week of shooting, and knowing that that's our last location.
Oh, bring us back some pizza, would ya?
Bunch of kids in a hotel.
Bunch of kids with a hotel, and they wouldn't let us drive. Remember? They wouldn't let us take cars up. We could go on beer runs.
Keep us locked up in the
Keep us
hotel.
locked up in the
Didn't work.
hotel. No. Whoever that bellhop was out in Trent. Thanks for doing all the beer runs for us. Remember that?
We were goofballs.
We were all goofballs, yeah.
No one cared about their image. No one cared about
And the more you were a goofball, it seemed the more they gave you better storylines.
No, but I have
Hence
to
Pat Mastroianni.
I remember. Oh, Pat.
SP90 is up next to 1973. Mustang Mach 1 Mustang, owned by Pat Mastroianni, who played Joey Jeremiah.
Here we go. How to get for you? Tell me 25,000. 25,000, 25,000, 25,000, 25 grand. Look at 25,000, 25. You tell me. Let's go. What about 25? 20. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. It's a celebrity car. What about 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 14, 5. 14, Pfizer. 14, 4. 14, Pfizer. The bit goes about 14, 5. 14, 6. So, 14-5, Reverend Terry Young got it.
Bitter gets a personal tour of the set and studios of the Degrassi show.
Price was getting very, very close, and I said, drop that reserve. This is going to make great television. Did you buy it for yourself, or did you buy it for a friend or a loved one? To resell. Pleasure to meet you, Terry. Awesome. I hope you can turn around and get a good price for this car. I'm sure you will.
When Degrassi finished, I decided I needed to step away from the character Snake and discover myself as an actor in another way. I moved out to LA to go to theater school. 3 years later, I graduated and sort of bummed around Hollywood, landed a couple forgettable acting jobs, and came back to Canada.
And that's me with hair.
I wasn't the only one to try my luck in La La Land, though. Some of the cast are still there.
Well, Stacy, here I am with you in Santa Monica.
Welcome.
It is, we can't ask for better weather.
No.
Yeah. And how long have you been out here now?
God, I guess it's been about 8 years.
Nobody tells me anything.
Keep Spike at Degrassi.
Do you guys want to sign this letter of protest? I finally got something right.
Ooh, all right, Caitlin.
Cheers.
What was one of your episodes that you think was a favorite of yours? Right from Kids Up to School's Out.
Well, I just remember I was especially pleased when I got to do the epilepsy episode.
Come on, we saw it.
Caitlin?
Cut it out, Caitlin. It's not funny. I don't think she's joking. Caitlin.
It kind of established me more as a character.
And I wanted to take it seriously, obviously, because it's a challenge when you're portraying something that, you know, people have. You want to make it as realistic as possible.
Caitlin went through a lot, actually.
Hi, Joey.
Caitlin, hi.
Do I detect something starting up with Joey again?
Of course not. Don't be silly.
What do you think about Joey and Caitlin? If you look back on it, Caitlin got kind of screwed by Joey a lot.
Caitlin, I can't go to the dance with you. My parents and I had this deal now.
You've always got an excuse. You always let me down.
Caitlin, it's not an excuse.
Forget it, Joey. I never ever want to see you again.
Screwed all the way through the show, and she seems to keep coming back. And Caitlin's this fairly, like, strong-willed girl.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, if you go way back to junior high, and, like, she's getting ready for the dance, and Joey's taking her to the dance, and he's like, oh, hi, Caitlin.
Have you seen this?
I think she's in the gym.
Dynamite. See you around.
I loved that storyline because it made perfect sense, too, that Caitlin being, you know, she has this aspiring rebel streak in her. And who else but Joey to be like the perfect way to kind of be rebellious.
And you're like, screw that, I'm gonna date Claude because he's deep.
Artsy, and he's
artsy,
deep,
yeah.
and he's smart.
No.
But then finally get back to get with Joey again. And then he screws around on you with Tessa Campanelli.
I know.
Caitlin can take her time and wait for the right moment. Meanwhile, I get laid.
Now, when you come to LA to shoot a documentary on Degrassi, there's definitely one guy you have to see. One big-time American movie director who's almost become synonymous with the
Here we
show.
are, Kevin,
Yes.
in your beautiful home.
Yes,
in
outside of it, because I wouldn't let you guys inside the house.
I was told.
Can't trust a Canadian, ever.
No.
Silverware goes missing, beers. I used to have a collection of toques. I had a few Canadians come in. Where are the toques now? I had this roommate, Ken, who I was living with when I was going to the Vancouver Film School. And he was the one who first told me about School's Out. And I was like, what is School's Out? And he was like, School's Out? He's gone, but he said, School's Out. He said, that's the movie that ended the series. And I said, a movie? And he said, yeah, it was a TV movie. It was 2 hours and they cursed. I was like, they cursed? He's like, oh, they cursed. And Joey Jeremiah was Caitlin Ryan and Tessa Campanelli. I was like, what?
Tessa Campanelli? You were Tessa Campanelli?
And you were the second person, I think, on a Canadian series to say the F word.
That's right.
I think I was first.
Ooh.
And then you were second.
When did you say it?
I say it right before when I go, Joey Jeremiah,
Oh,
Fed this summer.
of course.
Tessa Campanelli, and then you come in there and you go,
You were Tessa.
That's right. You said it first, so why did I get all the flack?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was awesome.
Hello. What's up, man? Come on in. Come on in, man. What's up, Toronto?
You guys want to go shoot some baskets? Two more tests to board this year. Then, my man, we are out of here.
Okay, well, we are in sunny California in Hollywood, and we're with Dio.
Yeah.
Or should I just say D?
D.
We're with D.
D.
It's Canada.
Hey,
Canada.
hi home. I miss y'all.
So you like BLT? Alexa, shh. You've got great taste.
Would you like to go to the graduation dance with me?
Yeah.
One of the episodes, which was, I think, a little shocking that we actually got as much negative feelings from people, was BLT dating Michelle. There was a lot of people that were like, how dare you have a black guy and a white girl dating?
I was only 15 at the time. So like we got our mail, but anything that was like really negative or that was like, you know, threatening emotionally or mentally, you know, everything was screened. They protected us being, you know, their talent and their kids.
Too bad yourself.
I got this piece of fan mail, handwritten from a pastor in the Deep South. And it said something along the lines, to the producer of Degrassi, you must have been born by a buzzard and hatched by the sun to allow a black and a white character to kiss on television. I mean, and to me, you know, that was an example of what we thought was just positive, being a positive role model.
Do you remember the UNICEF rap?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the UNICEF rap?
Dial, that's me. I play BLT. I'm the #1 dude on Degrassi.
No, neither does Stefan.
Oh, I
Stefan doesn't
remember
it.
Say what?
It's my mom. Hi, Mom. Hey, Mommy. Hey, can I call you back? We're doing an interview right now with Degrassi. Yeah, actually, Stefan's right here.
Why are you calling now? We're trying to interview your son.
Maybe I could rent a limo. I could come pick you up at your place.
Please, I'd like each pair to get together and rehearse beforehand.
I don't know.
Do you think Pat ever developed a real crush on you playing Joey Jeremiah?
I think we both developed a bit of a crush on each other.
Really? Yeah?
But I was so determined to not buy into that whole, like, keeping, like, fiction separate from reality.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is what the producers want, or this is what
They think it'd be so
the
cute.
writers would love to see us
Yeah.
together in real life. Oh, it's publicity. They would love it. And I just was so determined not to buy into that I almost, like, I rebelled against the idea of us being together in real life. Because
Right.
it was just too convenient. It just seemed too...
Oh, that's kind of sad.
You know, if
That's
only
married
I'd done it. I know it's too late now.
Do you ever think that we would have lasted?
Well, we'll never know, will we? We can't go back.
The classic Degrassi series ended, of course, with School's Out. And boy, did it ever go out with a bang.
It was a really dark ending when you think about it. Think about it. You and Joey completely over. Tessa had an abortion. Lucy's in the hospital. The Zits hate each other. I mean, that's kind of crazy to end a show like that. It's not like ending Friends, where everyone's like, we're gonna be friends forever, sort of thing, you know?
Well, I liked it for the sense that it didn't just end like all like, okay, bye, everyone's happy,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything's gonna be glorious future. Like, at least
We'll be
it-
friends forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of, it hit close to home, I think, the fact that,
See you, Jeremiah.
like, even for us, when the show ended, we all kind of went our own separate way, and a lot of us lost touch. Everyone was kind of like, well, now what?
Now what, exactly?
We'll have t-shirts that
Degrassi, it seemed, got even more popular in reruns.
super question.
Why do you think Degrassi has become as popular as it has? After we finished the original show, it seemed to stay popular, if not get more popular.
Yeah, it sort of took on this cult status, this 80s retro cool thing. Pop culture, Canadiana.
Mr. Jeremiah! Please, not in my class. Save that for the pool room.
Degrassi really had
An impact?
an impact.
A major secret.
It became cult status-y.
It-
Wait, let me say that again. Cult status-y. That's not even a word, but...
It's cult status. It achieved a cult status. They loved us.
Some of the cast and crew stayed good friends. Others moved on to new and exciting chapters in their lives.
Is there any cake left?
Even though we didn't see each other, we'd hear updates every once in a while. But one cast member really disappeared.
Danny, I got your picture. Danny, I got your picture.
Neil Hope has been a Degrassi kid since the original series.
You haven't handed in your assignments for a long time. Is there something wrong?
Don't you want me anymore? I wish things were like the way they were.
From Degrassi Junior High on, he played the tough, troubled Wheels, dealing with the death of his parents from a drunk driver.
Wheels, no one knew they were gonna die. If you would have gone, you would have been dead too. You don't want to be dead? Yes, I do.
Tragedy always played Wheels. Right up to the final episode where he gets into a drunk driving accident, kills a child, severely injures Lucy, and gets himself thrown into jail. This was the way Wheels said goodbye. And Neil soon afterwards vanished.
The only person we can't find, guess.
Linda called me the other day, though. She's in contact with him now.
Neil.
Yeah. I should have told you.
No, that's fantastic.
It took a while to find Neil, really. But we finally tracked him down in Windsor, Ontario.
Honestly, like, I go speak at universities and stuff, and the first question everyone asks, where's Wheels?
Well, that's my own little scheme to keep myself popular. I just have to disappear for a couple years, then everybody wonders where I am.
Yeah. Did you ever get sick of Wheels?
Yes. I think I needed time away from Wheels and just period away from acting.
This baby's gonna take me all the way out west. Snake!
Do you think there's a little bit of Wheels in Neil?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, you can't help it. I mean, when you play the same guy for, for 10 years, to help picking up some of his traits, and he ends up picking some of your traits.
Yeah. When your father died in real life.
Yeah.
What happened next? I mean.
Yeah, the next thing, then Wheels, both his parents were killed.
Yeah.
It's been an accident.
They're dead.
No.
Grant us now the
Were you cool with that, or?
I was very excited about it. I thought it because what I was going through was different than what Wheels went through. He was very angry, very upset, where I was obviously sad, losing my father.
Grant us now the confidence of a certain faith.
When I was acting, when I was doing the show, I was thinking in the back of my mind, I just want to be a normal person again. I just want to work a 9-to-5 job, do my Monday to Friday, do my 40 hours and go home. So that's what I did. Worked in everything, I worked in customer service for Money Mart. I worked customer service for Pizza at the call center. I've done construction jobs, landscaping jobs, shipping and receiving jobs. I got my forklift license. I can operate a boom lift. So I've done all that. Now I'm like, I want to go back to the good money. It was a difficult transition. I wasn't in the limelight anymore. No matter who you are, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. The paychecks weren't as good. I found that I was starting to have financial situations and things of that sort, which I had never gone through before. So it was a little difficult changing from Superman into Clark Kent.
Would you have liked it if the show had gone longer?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think since after the show, I think my life, if it would have gone on for a couple more years, I would have matured a little bit more. And my life would be a little differently than it is now. I think more on a positive note.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that I don't like my life now. It just, I think it just would have been beneficial for another season or two.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Linda.
Yeah. So we were in the Zoo Remedy.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Everybody get ready and get into gear.
I hated every scene that we had to shoot for them.
The one and only, the remedy is here.
It was painful. It hurt.
It literally hurt.
Everybody wants something down there.
How does it go?
You're not getting that from me, Mike. Everybody wants something.
They'll never give up. Everybody wants something. They'll take your money and never give up. Sorry, Stefan, I had to do it.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Degrassi, The Next Generation. It's still viewed by many as the new show, but it's already in its 5th season. How's that for making me feel even older?
I think someone realized somewhere that maybe this show could work again if they brought it back. And when they called me in to discuss it, they said, well, we have a great idea, The Next Generation. I'm like, well, why are you calling it Next Generation? It sounds like Star Trek.
You can be totally honest about this. Did you even know about the show when you first got on?
I'd heard of it. Yeah, to tell you the truth, everyone asks us those questions, and I've only seen like one episode, and that was like last week on satellite. So I'm sorry, I can't.
It is now its own show, with its own fans and of course its own ensemble of amazing young actors. And some old actors too. How about this?
Oh.
Joey's Fedora. Okay. First episode was a reunion show. A chance for the old guard to hand the torch to the younger generation. And for the original fans to see what happened to their favorite characters.
Something very interesting happened in the demographics when we looked at the ratings of that show. It was very split. Like all the fans you had from the old days were there, and we got this new generation. And we thought, okay, that would be just for the kickoff show. But as the show progressed, we kept that double rating.
Maybe we do need to get some actual gigs.
Pat's coming in as my stepdad. I think he had this whole attitude like he was taking me under his wing. He was like, all right, I'm gonna show you what Degrassi's all about. And he'd be like, oh, it's a close-up, don't be that big. I don't know.
You like get lost, Jeremiah?
I know. I was like, you haven't acted in 15 years. No, I'm joking. He actually really helped me act on the show. He would be like, bring it down, man, bring it down. Just be real, which was cool.
What am I supposed to do with a 23-year-old?
Do you need me to draw a diagram? Degrassi Next Generation sort of tries to recreate the old Degrassi, but with more money, better wardrobe.
Our little Canadian show is doing incredibly well, both at home and the United States.
I think last year we were in Entertainment Weekly like 7 times. We had, as you've seen, like 6-page spread in the New York Times. Unbelievable. I'm speechless.
I never had thousands of screaming fans come to meet me at a mall, but whatever. And Degrassi is still collecting big-time hardware, recently winning a prestigious trophy from the TV Critics Association, as well as a fan-voted Teen Choice Award. But what's important is that Degrassi isn't just continuing its award-winning tradition, it's still winning the respect of a now even more media-savvy generation.
I've got 3 words for you. Go to...
Sir! There'll be no more cuss words out of you, you potty-mouth mall rat. You're gonna learn the dual languages of my home and native land, and you're gonna savor my poutine!
And that'd be a cut.
As a fan, I go way back. And then last year, I actually got to join the cast in Degrassi Mythos.
I'm sorry, did you say you were, like, hitting on me before?
I got to kiss Caitlin Ryan, for God's sake. So that really puts me directly into the Degrassi universe and puts me into the Degrassi universe as myself.
Yeah, she better not get more lines than me, sir.
Don't worry, dude. The movie's not called Caitlin and Silent Bob.
Oh, but that's the movie you want to make.
Oh, I bet.
X-rated version.
I was torn of 2 minds, right? One, I just want to be in the show because I've loved the show for so long. But as a fan of the show, I also didn't want to be the guy that was like, hey man, Degrassi, The Next Generation was so good until they jumped the shark with that Jay and Silent Bob. I didn't want to be the guy that pooched the show.
What kind of movie is this anyway?
It's my movie.
But it worked out rather well.
Oh snap! Canadian Ninjas lunchbox. Hip hip.
Ninja time!
Sorry. I'm looking for Caitlin.
Cut!
The classic Degrassis are starting to show their age. And Degrassi The Next Generation has a whole new look. Aesthetically, you can't compare the shows, but underneath, they're connected by an unapologetic desire to tell stories for youth in a truthful way, honestly reflecting the good times and the bad. Fans of the older show watch reruns with a strong feeling of nostalgia, not just for the shows, but for what life was like when they first watched them. And someday, the next generation will feel that too. 25 years of Degrassi, a show like no other.